Welcome into Fantasy AI. Welcome into the computer room. It's a great time of year, isn't it? A great time of year because we're all 0-0. Forget about last year's record. Forget about your last year's team. We're going to get a whole new team. That's what makes fantasy great. You're not stuck with it forever. What did Winston Churchill say? He said, for those that fail to learn from history are doomed to repeat it. Does that mean we're not going to make the same mistakes we made in the past? We're going to learn. We're going to get some new players next year. We're going to have a good time. Before we get started here today, let's look at some of the running back movements that have happened already. We got some big name running backs changing teams. We've got Mixon going to Houston. You've got Barkley going to Philadelphia. You got Josh Jacobs going to Green Bay. Going to try it there. Goodbye, Dylan. You put him on the bench. Derrick Henry going to Baltimore. Going to share some running with Lamar Jackson there. Pollard going to Tennessee. You can see they have the 32 ranked offensive line last year. And DeAndre Swift going to Chicago. Chicago had a pretty good offensive line there. Got the offensive line rankings. I guess the biggest on the list is going to be Barkley and Jacobs. I wouldn't be surprised if Jacobs outrush him. They've got with Jalen Hurts in Philadelphia stealing the touchdowns, my best one of those looks like to me like Josh Jacobs. But moving on, we're going to see we're in a different era. We're in a quarterback rushing era the last few years. It's really changed fantasy. I had a friend of mine 2 years ago had the top 2 running backs and lost, or got second in our league. Lost. Didn't get first. And that's just unheard of. You had the top running back, you won the league. He had the top 2 and didn't win. So running back, quarterback error, So how many running backs are getting 1,000-yard seasons anymore with all the quarterback rushing? Well, let's take a look. We see here with this graph here that we've been having 1,000-yard rushers. Still, running backs are getting them. You got 14, 12, 13. Been up as high as ever. In fact, they're more than we've had in 20 and 21. So we're getting 1,000-yard rushers. So running backs are still, that used to be the benchmark, the 1,000-yard season. So let's look back. Let's look at some of these. 2019. These are going to look like familiar names. You got Derrick Henry, Chubb, McCaffrey. You see what they ran there. Let's take a look at the next year. Here's 2020 rushing leaders. Didn't have as many make 1,000, but hey, some familiar names right there. See David Montgomery there. That's the first year, or Bears, he got that. Back then. Here's 2021. Same names keep popping up here. And here's 2022. Jacobs leading the list that year. Henry, Barkley, Sanders. And you keeping track of that names there? I did it for you. Here's the list of the last 5 years. No one made it all 5 years. You had some 4s. You had Cook up there. He's pretty well done. Henry got a new team. See how he does. Chubb, will he return from the injury? Aaron Jones has a new team. I didn't mark him on there. I don't know if he's signed yet as of this. So let's continue on looking at the final results. It looks like from all that each year, even though you see how many made the list, like in 2023, 13 made the list, but yet only 4 returned from the previous year. You can see here every year in 2022, only 3 returned. 21, 3 returned. 5. So you can see here the average, you get about 12 a year that make the list 1,000 yards, but the next year only 4 of them make it. So that's a third, 33%. I don't like those odds. So what's that telling us? that, hey, just because he's got 1,000 yards last year, don't mean they're going to get 1,000 yards the next year. In fact, the odds are against them. It's like a 33% chance. Don't like that odds. So let's move on. Hey, if you're liking this content, please like and subscribe so I can bring you more videos. Please like and subscribe. Moving on, let's look at the 2023 rushing leaders. Right? We have Chuba Hubbard here. Didn't get 1,000, but I thought I'd rank some of the runners up here. This is ranked by rushing yards, right? We're going to see how many rushing yards everyone has here. So you can see here there it says rank. That is the rank and fantasy rankings. So moving on to Kenneth Walker. You could see he had 905 yards. His rank was 17th in fantasy. The parentheses there are what were the preseason rankings. So you can kind of see what kind of bargain you got there. Now I've got an upcoming video. Please like and subscribe and hit the notify so it'll make sure you don't miss it. But I go through and I grade out. Like you can see here, Pacheco on number 18 had 935 yards. He ranked 16th in fantasy. Came into the preseason as 28th. So you bargain there. So that video I'm going to run through, have a formula. I'm going to go through it all and see what the best bargains were and what the best players were at that for value. We have Jamar Gibbs making the list here with 945. More to be heard from lately, or later, I'm sure. But with Montgomery on the team, those two eating from each other's pie, I don't know how will he make it. Here's Barkley coming in. You can see I have him updated there as Philadelphia. Don't have a picture of him yet with that, but hey, he came in. He wasn't a very good bargain. See, this is where the bargain thing. He came in 13th, and yes, everyone on this list, if you got a 10-team league and you got 2 running backs starting, these all guys started. Barkley, was he a value? Well, he was 4th ranked preseason going in, so you gave some good draft capital to get him. Showed up 13th. Next on, talk about not very good on the value. I mean, he ranked 9th. I mean, you're starting him every game. I'm not saying that he isn't a starter and he did good, but hey, high price paid. He was the number 2 rank coming in. But 976, not quite 1,000 yards. Kept sharing too much. Rashard White. I'm sure these, hey, he didn't get 1,000, but ranked 8th in fantasy. Look at that receiving, 549, 9 touchdowns. Might have helped you win the league. Would have been a, filler player, but hey, you got to have him. Great value with Rashard White. Breeze Hall, look at that. 994. Coming back from injury. Here we are. He is ranked 7th in fantasy. Going in 23rd, great value. Didn't quite make the 1,000. So here we start the 1,000-yard rushers. First up, Tony Pollard. New team. You can see he went to Tennessee. If you had Tony Pollard last year, 5th preseason ranking, draft capital, you thought you were going to get a good pick. With Zeke gone, Tony Pollard, everyone crying to have him the starter. 18th. You weren't very happy if you had him. He'll be one of the bum list. Although, hey, like I'm saying, he scored 10 points a week. You had to start him. I mean, it ain't, but you didn't get your money's worth here. Moving on. Travis Etienne. Now you're getting some good value out of him. He had 1,000 yards. Came in preseason ranked 10th. Finished 4th. So you got some good value on him. And I'll just go ahead and a little thing. He was one of the first here that I think that's going to return for 1,000 yards. Got the computer spit out him as one of the top prospects to return. Same team. Maybe Lawrence will be a little better. We get the thing there. Well, it was expected from them. And here's Raheem Morris. Came in ranked number 2 in fantasy. Look at that, 21 touchdowns. 21. 1,000 yards. Aging. A-Chain coming on. That's probably his best peak year, obviously. But I'm sure if you had him, you were glad to have him. He'll be ranked up high on the running back value video I make. All right. He had 1,000 yards. Montgomery. I like him. Detroit, great. Everything's going great there, but you got Gibbs and them two sharing, so unless one of them gets hurt, they'll eat off of each other, and I don't know. You don't think that he... Here's Mixon, new team, Houston. Well, I don't know. I don't like the surroundings there. I know, Houston surprised some people last year. Good new rookie quarterback came on, but I don't know how he'll fare. Najee Harris, 1,000 yards. You see here on the ranking, he was ranked 20th coming in, or 19th coming in, gave you 20th. You got what you got. He was right on par. And let's see who's at number 6. Number 6 is James Conner. Good and steady. I mean, hey, same thing. He got what you paid for. Here we are, 174, 1040 yards. He's a good candidate. Oh, Swift here. Now, Swift, you see that even though he was the 5th leading rusher, right, in the NFL, he ranked 23rd in fantasy running backs. Why? Well, we know why. Anytime they get near the goal line, Jalen Hurts took it in. DeAndre Swift, he did get 6 touchdowns. Probably scored from far out, because when they're getting close, they're going to do that. Jalen Hurts running it in. So moving on to number 4, James Cook. You can see that he was kind of a surprise. Came in ranked 21st, finished 11th, had 1,122 yards, 4th leading rusher. Who would have thought that coming in? Yes, receiving. That was he got 444. That was 45. That was good. He had 6 touchdowns. Could have used a few more touchdowns, but he suffers the same problem. Josh Allen near the goal line, going to run it in. So, but these are ranked by yards. So he was 1,000-yard rusher. I think I'm going to go ahead and put him on as one of the ones that are going to return. So remember, we found out that only 4 of these 1,000-yard rushers are going to return the next year and do it. So we're trying to pick the 4. We'll review this later to see how I did. Kyron Williams. Whew. Talk about value. I'm sure he'll be leading the list. Celebrate him. Oh, he came on strong late. Once Akers was out of there, you can see that he came in as the 3rd fantasy running back. Came in pre-ranked 70th. So, I mean, you're going to lock him in as one of them. I mean, love that. Coming in, Derrick Henry. He had made the list 4 out of the 5 years, and he would have probably made it the other year that he got hurt. But here he is in Baltimore now. Going to run behind the Baltimore offensive line, 6th ranked last year. But I have been seeing some free agent signings that may have lost a few on that offensive line. But with Lamar Jackson there as a threat, if he stays healthy, he'll probably get 1,000 yards. And here's Christian McCaffrey. You can see here, number 1, ranked number 1. Returned 328, what is that, 20 points a game he's giving you? Whew. If you had him, maybe you won the league. Depend on your quarterbacks. Yeah. But Christian McCaffrey was number 1, so I could get to pick one more. And I just have a feeling I'm going to go with Henry as the 4th. So that's what we have here. And we'll see how good they come out. And till next time. Thank you for tuning in. Please like and subscribe. Give me a thumbs up so I can bring you more quality content. Thank you.